Why did the employee who kept the entire business alive finally snap? Katie started working at our tech startup 6 months before me. By the time I joined as a junior developer, she was already a legend. Our boss, Marcus, would constantly tell new hires that Katie single-handedly saved 3 client accounts, built our entire project management system from scratch, and once worked 36 hours straight to fix a server crash that would have bankrupted us. She was always there when I arrived at 8 and still there when I left at 6. Every single day. I figured she just loved her job or was gunning for a promotion, but after a few weeks, I started noticing things that didn't add up. Katie wore the same rotation of 4 outfits. She kept a toothbrush and face wipes in her desk drawer. Her car never moved from its spot in the parking lot, not even on weekends. I only noticed because I parked next to her and started paying attention. Other employees acted strange around Katie. They'd lower their voices when she walked by, or they'd suddenly stop conversations. When I asked my coworker James about Katie's incredible work ethic, he just shrugged and said that's just how Katie is, but he wouldn't make eye contact when he said it. During team lunches, Katie never came. She'd eat alone at her desk with food from the vending machine. Chips, candy bars, instant ramen she'd make with hot water from the break room. I never once saw her leave the building to get real food. Marcus treated Katie differently than everyone else. He'd praise her constantly in meetings, but it always felt performative, like he was trying to convince us of something, and Katie never seemed happy about the praise. She'd just nod and go back to her computer. I started coming in earlier, around 7, to beat traffic. Katie was always already there, typing away. Her desk had a pillow behind her monitor and a blanket in her bottom drawer. One morning, I arrived at 6:30 for an early client call and found Katie asleep at her desk, still in yesterday's clothes. When I tried to wake her, she jumped up terrified and begged me not to tell Marcus. The fear in her eyes wasn't normal workplace anxiety. It was something deeper. I asked if she was okay and she said she was fine, just had a lot of work to catch up on, but her hands were shaking when she said it. I checked the parking lot cameras that weekend using my security access. Katie's car hadn't moved in 4 months. Not to go home, not to run errands, nothing. She was living here. At the office, I went through our employee portal and pulled up Katie's information, which I probably shouldn't have had access to, but our system was poorly secured. Her emergency contact was blank. Her address was listed as the office building, and her last paycheck deposit was from 5 months ago. Nothing since then. I clicked through more records and found that Katie had been reclassified from employee to independent contractor 3 months ago, but there were no contractor payments in the system either. Marcus had restructured her paperwork but wasn't paying her. That Monday, I watched Marcus and Katie more carefully. He'd call her into his office multiple times a day. She always looked exhausted and defeated when she came out. The other senior employees who'd been there longer than me clearly knew something, but nobody talked about it. On Wednesday, I stayed late after everyone left except Katie and Marcus. I heard yelling coming from his office around 8 p.m. Katie's voice, loud and angry for the first time since I'd known her. She was saying something about promises and contracts and lawyers. Marcus's response was too quiet to hear, but Katie's voice got louder. "You can't keep doing this. I have nothing left." Then silence. I heard Katie come out of the office, and when I looked up from my desk, her face was red and she was crying. She walked straight to the supply closet and came out holding something I couldn't see from my angle. She went back toward Marcus's office, and that's when I heard the crash, because the rest of the story is on my channel or linked below.